Alright. Disclaimer: this is a work of fiction. Names, characters, settings, and incidents are either products of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual events or locales or occult magics or persons, living or dead, is entirely coincidental. Please be advised that this game contains textual descriptions and visual depictions of the following sets of topics: blood, self harm, suicidal ideation, and violence. While some visual depictions can optionally be disabled in the game's preferences, textual descriptions cannot, as these elements are part of the story. AKA, if you're a squeamish bitch, why are you even here? Oh fuck, it doesn't look like me. I'm Honoka. The hair just needs to be slightly more blue. Because I have blue black hair. Yeah, like give me more excuses to procrastinate. I love procrastination excuses. The flowers of summer shall wither, the leaves of autumn shall fall. Against a transient world, we are doomed to defiance, to the eternal folly of man. And so the winter snow falls. That actually sounded really pretty. Oh yeah, got the water ready. Let's fucking go. Because I have a feeling I'm going to need it today. A terrible chill hangs in the air, the season proving bitter as it so often is here. On this cold day, a great throng of students slowly shuffles through the piled snow of the university grounds. The day's lecture is finally over. Some gossip freely with friends, while others fawn over their partners. Most, however, stroll silently. Oh fuck, she does look like me. I wonder if we can change her name. Probably not. She's probably stuck as Honoka. Amidst a sea of people walks one unremarkable student among many. It went without saying that I'd go to university. I was called smart, clever, intelligent. I quietly liked the praise and saw no reason to fight others' ambitions for me. As long as people told me I was doing well, I hardly cared what I did. I wouldn't say I have a career in mind, nor any particular plan for the future. I barely chose this way of life at all. I simply fell into it. Things happened around me, and I followed the path of least resistance. I never considered what would happen when I had to think for myself. The train rattles and shakes as it trundles along the desolate city outskirts, the air inside stifling from the heaters. The seats always fill before I get on, no, so standing for the awkwardly long ride has become normal by now. Holy shit! Me when I used to go to my jobs down the big city. I would take the fucking train, and there was very rarely any free seats. I was usually standing. It sucked balls, dude. So I'd be on that shit for like an hour. With little else to do, I stare out the train doors. My thoughts soon turn inward, as they so often do in quiet moments. Not needing to study a day of high school has paradoxically made university all the worse. Faced with more difficult problems and never having needed to work at understanding something before me, I found myself restless. One might turn to friends for support, but my nature seems to drive others away. I always got on better with teachers than other students in any case. Oh my god, it is me. Fuck. Except I only went to college for like one semester. The city outside becomes distant, its glass buildings reflecting the gray sky. The only color to be seen is that of the bright red Stopado TV tower, its wireframe girders beaming through the white snow. I know, right? Especially since I grew up, like, in somewhat northern Ohio, so that the school year was always fucking snowy, like most of the year. From October to like April, there'd just be snow and blizzards and grossness. The only difference is that MC doesn't look like the type to go fall to say fuck high school class and go sleep under the football bleachers. Not having traveled outside of Hokkaido, it's difficult to view life here in an objective sense. That remoteness hasn't hurt the city, though, having every convenience one could hope for despite its distance from Tokyo. The snow season has brought the annual increase in tourists with it, a topic of some debate given the fuss and crowding they cause. The hotels and snowfields continue their trade, though, as while Sapporo may be the capital of Hokkaido, their money is still sorely needed. Cranes work day and night to build new apartments, the city's population ever rising. The bustling train station is one of the most modern in the country, a landmark of glass outside and high technology inside. Even the trains themselves are kept in eerily perfect condition, as if every trip were the first of the day. Sapporo never stops changing in order to keep up, as if locked in a rivalry with Tokyo's modernity. Okay, that is a huge difference. The city I grew up in was just pure ghetto, and it just steadily got worse. It was a ghetto surrounded by cornfields. Is any of this right? I couldn't really say. Like me, everyone keeps going about their day in this ever changing city, even as the past disappears around us for modern development, new businesses, and more money. That place now passing by the train window is where I was born and where I expect to die. Perhaps it's fate that I live in this grayscale city, so fitting is it for someone like me. The walk from the station to my house is thankfully much shorter, though the idea of selling it and getting an apartment closer to school is something I've considered more than once. Having passed the local cemetery on the way, I enter. Oh no, do I have dead parents? Having slipped off my shoes, the patter of feet on wood echoes about as I enter the spacious living room. A flimsy plastic bag carries dinner from the nearby convenience store in one hand, while the well worn messenger bag for school remains strapped over my shoulder. As my eyes adjust to the light, a familiar unease comes over me, the unease of true solitude. A haunting silence hangs in the air, the room's size only magnifying the effect. Few things provoke this unsettling feeling so deeply as an empty house which shouldn't be. With my money largely going towards university fees and keeping the house, most of the rooms have been neglected. The table before me might appear a stately wooden construction, but the lie is exposed by the veneer having flaked off a corner, exposing cheap particle board. I'll go to a furniture store or replace it sometime, I think to myself as I hang my coat and bag. Of course, sometime is vague enough that I can rationalize away that time never coming. With my food quickly growing colder, the house itself being a little warmer than outside, I settle myself down on the cushion. The air soon fills with the studied and monotonous voice of a television news presenter as I begin to eat. Lame! I'm gonna watch the news instead of anime? Fuck you. Bitch, you're in Japan! You have all the anime in the world! Even on local channels! You don't need to have cable! Why are you watching the news? Bruh, MC is lame. The lukewarm stat meal is, for better or worse, consistent in the way convenience store food usually is. The same goes for the bitter green tea, which washes it down. Normal is overrated. There is no real normal. Dude, MC is fucking depressed. I know, right? Nothing ever good happens on the news. The occasional click of chopsticks is all that serves to punctuate the uninteresting news report, the woman's voice rattling off the details of another traffic accident from the snow covered roads. Fucking. See? Depressing. Fuck that shit. In the news today, a family of 5 was killed on the road by a semi who misjudged the distance between themselves and the cliff. A routine day, much like any other this year. My attention beginning to drift from disinterest, my eyes set on the cardboard box to the side of the table. I half-heartedly considered throwing it away, but like most, I decided to use it for storage. For what and when, I hardly know. It still has the shipping label attached now that I look at it. You think that one dauntless order of an otherwise nondescript book from some secondhand store would change so much of my life? The idle thought confirms my plans for the evening. Putting myself to work in order to calm my nerves, I turn off the television and sort the remnants of dinner into burnable and recyclable trash. With that, I take a long breath and head to the study. Even as I walk up the stairs, I become acutely aware of the sensation from the bandages on my left arm, a now permanent reminder of this grim pastime. Yo, am I a cutter? A lavish room is revealed as I enter, the musty smell of books and old furniture hanging in the air. The haphazard collection of antiques and oddities is the result of a year haunting local antique stores and online marketplaces. Something, anything, to take my mind off what was happening around me. My eyes moved down to the floor. What started as a pleasant dark wood is now blighted with remnants of dried blood. The stains run deep, no matter how hard I've tried to clean it. The sight going unnoticed by anyone else is one of the few advantages to living alone. I'm over here fucking summoning the devil or some shit. Okay. Stepping around the faded remnants of chalk between the wood panels, I stride over to my desk. My laptop full of translation notes lies to one side, while a time-worn leather-bound book lies open on the other. It's likely the oldest object for many miles around, and treated accordingly. Oh, fuck. Okay. Fucking some. What is this? Italian? It looks Italian. I'm gonna butcher this so badly. Note asort. Fuck. Note assortite sola natura della magia del sangue. I butchered that so fucking badly. I am so sorry to all Italians. The title alone made me curious, a curiosity which soon developed into obsession. Before long, that obsession turned from the intellectual to the practical. With some reference, I carefully leafed through the pages. The words of the author, one Isabella di Mora, speak across the ages as I scan the page. Translating the Italian. Sweet, I was right, it was Italian. Text has been slow going, not helped by its archaic form, but what progress I've made has yielded good results. Rather, it's been my body which has slowed me more than anything else. Looking between the floor and books several times, I attempt to visualize the patterns needed to replicate Isabella's experiments. The glyphs and patterns are strange and complex, more than one attempt ending in dismal failure. Realizing I've begun to draw this out to avoid the necessary pain for as long as possible, I set the book down at its open page and set about the preparations. Bruh. Taking a piece of chalk from a pile of seemingly unrelated items on my desk, I kneel down and begin to retrace the intricate plans detailed in the book's pages, every so often standing to consult the sketches I'm using as guides. There's an odd beauty to the intricate patterns slowly appearing on the floor. One concentric ring is followed by another, mysterious symbols and figures filling the spaces between them. Isabella's process of experimentation and discovery, the result of a great mind imprisoned by her family, has been fascinating to uncover page by page as my translation progressed. Trying to replicate her results would soon prove even more intriguing. Slowly but surely, the detailing comes to an end, and the last of the lines meet. Coming to my feet, I set the chalk back down and set about the more distasteful side of the process. Blood for the blood gods! My heart racing, I pull up my left sleeve to well above the elbow, revealing the blotchy, cream-colored bandages stretching down a good portion of my arm. There's a strange feeling in keeping something hidden despite being surrounded by oblivious others. Little by little, I unravel the dressing, leaving enough at the top of my arm to avoid it falling. As the skin beneath is revealed, one dark red line after another blights the pale flesh around it. Some have already scarred, soreness and itching reminding me of their presence. Reaching to the desk, I take my knife in hand. The blade is nondescript by choice, bought along with random items I didn't need to avoid arousing suspicion. Bringing it to my arm, I hover above a spot below the last cut, in hopes of not interfering with its healing. My heart begins racing as the knife settles against the skin. The sound of my breathing is maddening loud as it reverberates around the room, becoming ragged. My knuckles whiten as I clutch the knife's cold metal hand in my shaking palm. I dearly hope this inhumane act against myself will become more natural, but even now my instincts scream at me to stop. Instinct isn't so easily snuffed out. Well, if I look at the rituals thingamajigger earlier, it already had blood all over it. She's been attempting this multiple times. As the moon's light glints off the cold, uh, utilitarian blade, I press the tip of the knife to the side of my arm. In one practiced motion, I overcome my body's pleading and force myself to slice the blade across. Pain lances through my body and mind, the grating of my teeth the only thing stopping my painful whimpers from escaping. The tool's job done, I throw it to the ground and clutch my arm tightly. Dark crimson fluid seeps from the open wound, soon flowing freely down my arm and over my hand. Crouching down, I put myself to work to pull what attention I can from the wound. Putting my hand out before me, I straighten my index and middle fingers as thick, warm blood begins to drip from them. Trying my best to minimize my nervous shaking, the chalk outlines soon turn red as I trace them out at a slow but steady pace. I have to take this carefully, I remind myself. My body can't afford to do this often, every attempt meaning days of recovery. I'm already weak, and the winter's efforts hardly help. As the last of the white chalk turns to a wine-dark red, I stand once more and glance about. The moonlight reflects off the fresh blood, a slow trickle still dropping to the floor from my arm. A certain dissonance strikes me between the messy red spatters strewn across the floor and the intricate Byzantine patterns they form. The panic thought of being some descent into madness briefly passes my mind. What madman, what crazed murderer could stand in such a spectacle and think themselves sane? Rather than fear such thoughts, I treasure them as I close my eyes shut. They're confirmation that I've not yet lost my mind. I can still see this from the outside. I'm still human. As the book says, I concentrate on imagining the symbols and patterns around me in my mind. My emotions begin to shift and ebb, my nerves somehow becoming swept along in a strangely calming sensation. I'm not even going to attempt to read that shit. As if caught in a river, my thoughts begin to flow. Rather than fight it as I first did, I allow the slow and uneasy trickle to take me, surrendering to the movements in my mind. Some are pleasant, others horrendous, but all prove fleeting and impertinent. Bro, I can't read half of it. It's off screen and shit. What was a river soon becomes a torrent. Unidentifiable memories and concepts become abstract and indistinct. Thoughts, feelings, sensations all merge together in a purging rush. All physical sense of my body long gone as every emotion pours through me at once. In the swirling and glowing mass, the bedrock below it all begins to sway in the swelling flood. My sense of self nudges and rocks at first, held by the deepest roots, yet little by little, against the surging flood, I am getting motion sickness. I. Holy shit, it worked! I did sorcery! Mom, are you proud of me? The soft grass gently presses against my cheek, the dew of early morning contrasting to the sun's warmth. My eyes slowly open, but my body feels too heavy to move. Far from being unexpected, it's now a familiar feeling. My mind too dull to do anything more, I silently watch the flowers before me gently sway in the breeze, while birds squawk in the far distance. It's all so different and so warm. As if waking from a terribly long sleep, I wearily pick myself up and my senses slowly return. A cloudless blue sky hangs above, which with the lush green of the unkept forest surrounding me. It's also idyllic. There's no bright red tower piercing a sullen sky. The world which stretches out before me couldn't be farther from the hustle and bustle of the city I've left. The warmth of spring and its many scents confuses my senses, jarred by the shift from the cold winter's night I left. The only blemish on the scene is a column of faint smoke from workshops in the far distance, peeking above the tree canopies. Yo, how do you know they're workshops, though? The magic worked. I thoughtlessly say the words to nobody in particular, the nature of what I've done no less surreal to me now that the scant few other times I've successfully managed it. Unfortunately, my senses returning to me also means that pain is among them. I quickly set about rebinding my bandages, lest anyone here see the scars now disfiguring my forearm. Groaning, I focus on making sure they're done tight and firm before fixing the ends once more. As much for myself as any other, I roll my sleeve back down afterwards to avoid the temptation to look. Adjusting my glasses and dusting myself off my uninjured arm, I set off towards the town ahead. The town of Sapporo. An empty horse-drawn tram trundles along past my field of vision, the steed's hunchbacked owner patiently letting it trot along at a leisurely pace. He pays me little heed as they pass, the clatter of hooves blending with the sounds of passerby. The shadows are small, so it must be around noon. The flow of time here always throws me off. As I so often do when I come to this place, I find myself just watching, strolling through as if in a daze, I caught up in observing this strange and foreign world. Yet this foreign feeling world is also strikingly familiar. For reasons unknown, the magic I've been attempting, transference, has reliably transported me here. When I should be in some other countries, I instead arrive in the same location but a century ago. The strangely dressed newcomers soon lost their novelty to the people here, few giving me so much as a passing glance as they go about their day. Words can't express how glad I am for the attention fading. Perhaps I should be glad it's the Meiji era. My modern clothing would be just another strange dress to them. Some of those walking before me mix Japanese and Western fashion styles, even now to varying degrees of success. A couple of children run by, happily chasing one another along the street. It all feels so different to the grayscale photos and dry documentaries about the Meiji era, or about history at all. The people here feel alive and varied, from the dour to the cheerful. Ooh, she cute! My idle stroll comes to an end as I reach my usual destination. Outside the kabuki venue stands the brightest person here, happily seeing off someone she'd been chatting to before noticing my arrival. I, s- I see we have a visitor. Welcome back, Miss Asakawa. Hello, Lady Yasu. You look well as always.
前にも言ったでしょ、安江でいいって。せめて一人くらいは堅苦しいこと抜きでおしゃべりできる相手が欲しいの。
I've told you before, Yasue is perfectly fine. I'm glad to drop the formalities around at least one person.
じゃあ私のことも分か
Then,
っている。
just Honokawa is alright too. Despite my best efforts, I wilt before her sunny disposition as usual. I'm hardly even able to make eye contact as I mumble my reply. Yasui takes the comment in stride, her cheeks hinting at the smile hidden behind her fan. What smile? She looks like she's judging me harshly. My arm suddenly aches from my wound, causing me to reflexively reach over and clutch it. Such pain is a constant reminder of the cost to get here. The tithe a normal person has to pay to mimic the magic afforded to mages. True mages, such as Yasui. Her magic is no less amazing to watch now as when I first saw it. With mages so few in number in the normal world, and those that do exist keeping a low profile, I'm in some ways blessed to meet one who uses their abilities so openly.
大丈夫？
Are you alright?
大丈夫。少し疲れただけだから。
I'm fine, just tired. Accepting my waving off of her concern, Yasui turns to begin walking, casting a glance behind her to invite me. I quickly skip up alongside as she begins to slowly stroll the streets, stealing the occasional furtive glance at the woman as we go. While she's a pretty person in general, I've never quite been able to place her age. I may be terrible at guessing such things normally, but her hair, which throws me off entirely. I'd call it bleached white, but it looks natural despite her youthful face. I know, right? Fucking look at her! She does look like me, resting bitch face and all. And paler. I'm gonna have so much fun image manipulating this. What you try to say, Clueless? Finding myself self-conscious, I run a hand through my bangs to neaten them before adjusting my glasses just so. I'm not particularly good at things like fashion, but for this one person, I want to put in some kind of effort.
どこへ向かっているの？
Motherfucker. Where are you headed?
特に当てはないわ。今日の公演が終わったから。
Nowhere in particular. The day's performance is over, so I thought to have a stroll to wind down.
一緒に過ごせて嬉しい。
Well, I appreciate the company. Do tell me if you tire. I'm well aware you try to hide it, but I have noticed the toll these adventures take on you. She does her best to make the remarks as gently as possible, but her point is made. I had hoped she wasn't troubled over such things, but it's hardly the first time she's seen right through me.
何もかも夢みたい。
It all feels so real. It's hard to believe this is how my own city looked a century ago.
信じられない。遠い未来の方に。
I'm sure we all must look rather quaint to someone so far in the future.
どうしたの？
What brought on this line of thought?
なんでもない。
Just thinking back to when I first arrived here.
思い出して。あの時のほのかったら。
You were like a little lost kitten back then. Not quite the image of who I thought might find this place. Yasumi punctuates her observation with a churlish laugh, raising my spirits. As we head into a side street, Yasui stops to greet a friendly hauler walking by. The man happily begins to chat as he adjusts the yoke across his broad shoulders, stacks of goods tied to either end. Not wanting to intrude, I let my thoughts drift back once again. Oh my god, am I flashbacking? I don't want a flashback. I'm already back. I stumbled about in the grips of terror for some time, wandering into the town knowing nothing of where I was or how to escape. Nearly frozen in fright, I slinked along the side of the streets, onlookers struck by the bizarre clothing I wore. How fortunate I was for some children to run and fetch Yasui. When she first caught sight of me, I wondered which of the two of us was the more surprised. She sensed as though I was of a different time than the others, and took me under her wing without a second thought. Even now, I still feel like her helpless kitten. She doesn't know the scene in my world which led to that first journey, though. I wonder if she'd think differently of me for it. As the hauler shuffles off and we start walking once more, Yasui speaks up. Few of our conversations are started by me, though she seems unperturbed by this.
最近はどう？
How have you
平
been?
穏な
You
生活
spoke of
を送っ
life
てい
being
ると言ってい
peaceful?
たわね。平穏。
Peaceful, I
そうか。
suppose. Things are largely the
大
same
学
as
に行っ
ever.
て、
I go to
休憩
school,
して、
come home, eat
夕飯
dinner,
を
and
食べて。
sleep.
ね、安江はこの世界で
As
た
for
った
you,
一
this
人
world only contains
心
Sapporo
の
and its
人しかい
people,
ないん
right?
でしょ？
Yasui nods solemnly. I dislike reminding her of the fact, but I have only the most vague understanding of such things.
昔、私
When
た
we
ち
were
がこ
sealed
の
away
世
all
界に
those years
封印
ago,
され
this
た
world
時、
became an
こ
unchanging
こは不
one.
変な世
That's
界
all
だ
it
と
will
思っ
ever
て
be
た。
for us, I suppose.
私たちと言っても、
Well,
あ
until
なた
you
の考
arrived.
えは
Imagine my shock to have someone from the real world
長
arrive
い
after
歳
so
月を経
long.
て、
Hey, yo, so they're like in a pocket dimension? That's kind of cool. I'd fuck with that. She giggles once more, smiling to herself at the memory. How easily she laughs off her own past awkwardness. The first impression I had of Yasui was perhaps the expected one. So many photos blend together of people in formal outfits, stiff poses, and stern, serious faces. While they may try to humanize history in school, there's only so much a museum trip or classroom lecture can do. My preconceptions would be dispelled in moments. In so many ways, she juxtaposed her ladylike properness with a carefree spirit. Her hair is lavishly cared for, yet flows freely rather than being tied up. Her speech is archaic and uses long, obsolete words, only for her to chat naturally and openly. She dresses traditionally, yet gestures wildly and wears her emotions on her sleeve. I know full well I've been going over every conversation we have in my head for days, if not weeks to come, angsting over every misstep or hesitation and overthinking every expression or pause. Yasui will do no such thing. Everything flows off her. It's graceful, in a manner. Albeit not quite in the way I expected that word to be used for someone of an era barely past samurai and daimyo.
がっかりさせたらごめん。
Sorry if I'm a
でも
disappointment. If I could save
私
you
に
from
でき
this
るなら
world, I would.
あなたは偉大な魔術
You
師
may
だ
not
と
be a
思って
grand
いるけれ
mage,
ど、
but I'm glad to have
知
met
り合い
you.
本当
Perhaps
に
it's
嬉
for the
しいと思っ
better
てい
that
る
the
の。
first to come here would be
こ
someone
の
like
世界に
you.
初めて来たの。
Not knowing how best to react to her praise, I bashfully look away. My driving desire to be complimented is one of my uglier traits. I can only hope it's one of the few things Yasui hasn't perceived in me. I soon realize I've begun rubbing my arm out of anxiety. For all her praise, I still feel as if I'm telling a lie by omission. How would a mage react to finding the one before them as some regular person mimicking their abilities through such methods?
一つ聞いてもいいか
May I
しら？
ask you a question on that topic?
答えたくは？
Feel free not to answer if you prefer.
ええ。
Go ahead.
ほのかはおいくつかし
How
ら？
old are you? I must
あれ
admit,
ほ
you
どの
seem
術
young
を
for a
使う魔
mage's
術師に
skill.
しては、ずい
The jump in topic forces me to think over the answer for a moment. I can't will myself to tell the truth, and she gives such a convenient excuse not to.
少し前に二
I
十歳に
turned
なったば
20 a
か
few
り
weeks ago, I
かな。
think.
ということはま
So
だ
you haven't? She trails off before finishing her sentence, her expression concerned. I'm left at a loss for words, only growing worse as the spark of realization brightens her face.
安江来て。今
Follow
回は
me,
させないわ。
please. I promise I'll make it worth your while. Once again, I find myself working to catch up with the cheerful woman. Dim lamps struggle to illuminate the tables around us. The izakaya's air filled with the chatter of patrons and the heavy scent of tobacco. With liquor flowing freely and so many in the tight space, the air has taken on a distinctly muggy feel. Many of the animated faces around us flushed a bright red. My gaze rests on the waitresses skittering from table to table, dainty feet in sandals, tapping quickly to keep up the pace of orders. It's a little uncanny. Everything about the experience is so close to a normal restaurant, yet just different enough to throw me off. As always, I do my best to avoid accidentally catching the eye of anyone in particular. Yasui does no such thing, instead looking at me with an indulgent smile.
どういうこと？私の誕生日祝いならこんなことしてく
I'm
れ
not
なく
sure I
てもいい。
understand. If this is for my birthday, it's really not a big deal. At this, Yasui makes a show of pouting. Oh my god, that's actually a really cute pout.
ほのかはいつもそう。
You never let me spoil you. I know your world has many lovely things, but I'd like to treat you at least once with what we have to offer.
遠慮してるわけじゃないわ。
It's not like I mind, it's just...
大将、こちら
Old
のお父
man,
さんに
some
地
local
元
beer
の
for
ビー
this
ル
young
をお願
lady,
い。
if you please. The man behind the counter, as yet unseen, yells out his agreement in a hoarse voice.
ちょっと待って。私
Wait, I
二十歳
mean,
になっ
I'm
たば
still
かりだし
20. I haven't even
まだ
tried
飲ん
drinking
だことがない
yet.
のよ。ならちょうどいいわ。
And what better time to
試して
try?
みましょうよ。
It's never too early to drink alcohol. I instantly gave up my protest in light of how happy she is to be treating me like this. I had been too shy to fumble my way through dealing with a bar, and I wouldn't know what alcohol would be good to start with in the first place. Our drinks arrived quickly, the old man, perhaps the owner, personally bringing the bottles and glasses to our table. Yasui doesn't notice my confusion as she stops to pull out the cork in each. Even I know these usually have bottle caps.
40銭だよ。毎度。
40 sen, thank you. Yasui quickly obliges, passing him 2 odd silver coins. This is the first time I've actually seen sen being used. Regardless, the man cheerfully takes them before hobbling back off past the curtain. I hadn't taken her for a beer drinker, but she's clearly looking forward to this more than I as she gives an eager smile. That's a really decent looking beer. And it's got a good head to it. I like that. Trying to paper over my confusion, I quickly take one of the bottles in hand. Supporting it in one hand and tipping with the other, I gently pour the amber liquid into the cup now held by my senior's delicate, spindly fingers. So the trick to pouring beers without it foaming up way too quickly and taking up like half the glass, tilt the glass at an angle and pour it against the side. That's the best way to do it. There have been so many times I've had to train brand new bartenders to do that. Because they're like, oh my, it's taking forever to pour this beer fully. What do I do? Like, okay, pour that out, fuck it, or just set it aside and sell it at half price. Who the fuck cares? Tilt it, and then pour. Yasui returns the gesture soon after, an inviting, thick, foamy head forming on the glass I cradle. The calmly bubbling beer gives off a floral scent, a sharp contrast to the mess of crimson which brought me here. The smell of blood now uncomfortably familiar. I peer over my drink to Yasui, her gaze patiently gauging my reaction. Yeah, that's what I end up doing. Is that when a keg empties out and I'm not aware of it, like halfway through pouring a beer, I usually end up setting that beer aside and I'll sell it to whoever wants that beer next at half price. Because it's like, you're only getting half a glass of beer. Why would I make you pay full price? Plus, I don't like mixing kegs. I don't like it. It feels icky to me. It's probably like, it's no real difference whatsoever, especially if they're all made at the same time. But getting the top of a keg and getting the bottom of the keg of a big, getting the bottom of a keg and then the top of a new keg, it feels weird. So I don't like doing it. I always end up setting a glass aside, selling it half price, and I'll just go trade out the kegs and I'll pour the person who asked for that beer a new one. Perhaps it's my distrust of others or my own anxieties causing me to overthink every gesture, but I find myself unable to plainly accept what would be a kind gesture.
こんなことしてもらって本当にいいの？
Is it really okay to
私、
treat me to all
安
this? I
江
feel
に
like I've
何
done
もし
nothing
てあ
for
げ
you,
て
but
な
you
いの？
keep treating me so nicely.
安江はいあら、自分の誕
You
生
don't
日
want
を
to
祝って
celebrate your
ないの？
birthday?
うん、そうじゃないの。
No, it's not that at all. It's just. I'd expected Yasui to defend herself. Instead, she stares at me intently, as if examining an interesting specimen before her. Maybe this is no different to how we've been interacting this whole time. Another of her elaborate plays, but this time without a script to hand. Each of us left to take our cues from the other, judging and moving in step with the other. As a particularly rowdy patron gives a boisterous laugh behind us, Yasui smiles and closes her eyes in defeat.
ごめんなさい。
Perhaps I've been coming on too strong. I apologize.
新しい方が来るなんて
I spent so long
本
with
当
that
に
new
久しぶり
company
で、
that
いつかあな
I
た
am
に出会
slightly
うかもと思
terrified
う
that I might lose you at
と
any
少し
moment.
こ
Of course she'd been scared. She'd been stealed away for so long. Everyone here has been. That I'm important enough to Yasui for her to feel that way about me, even if it's only by circumstance, is oddly nice. It's been so long since I felt needed by someone. The least I can do is appreciate her generosity.
約束する。
Then
こ
I'll
れ
make
か
you
ら
a
もできるだ
promise.
け
I'll
こ
keep
こに来る。
I'll always keep coming here, and as
こ
long
の
as
世
I
界は
can.
タイムカプセ
I
ルみ
mean
たい
that
で、
as a student
学
as
生として
well.
も興
This
味が
world's
あるし、
practically a time capsule of history, after all.
そういうわけだか
So
ら、
please
ど
share
う？
this drink with me, not for my
私の誕
birthday,
生日の
but
た
to
めじゃ
agree
な
on
くて、
that promise.
二人の約束のために。
Her smile is enough of an answer, the pent up tension in my body releasing. An odd sense of purpose sparks inside of me, the first I've always felt in my life. With that, we both lift our glasses to our lips and take a long sip. In the end, I only had a few sips of the bitter stuff. Thankfully, Yasui, who was only too happy to oblige in drinking both of our bottles, and a couple more besides. It seems the taste of alcohol will take some getting used to. So Yasui is a heavy drinker. Good to know. I had heard that drinking before evening is odd, let alone at noon. Yasui seems to hardly care, though, her face now flushed and gestures decidedly more animated. Of all the images I had of a lady from the Meiji era, the joyful, carousing woman skipping beside me isn't one of them. As she gives me a slightly uneven smile, I offer a polite bow.
ありがとう、安江。
Thank you, Yasui.
今日は
Today's
楽し
been
かった。
fun.
あんまり飲めなくて、
Sorry for not having more. Drinking will
もっ
take
と
some
飲め
building
な
up
きゃね。
to.
今度
If
飲
I
みた
could
くなっ
muster
た
the
ら
courage to have
また
another,
付き合って。喜んでご商売に
I'd be
扱いまし
delighted
ょ
to
う。
join you if you do. Perhaps it's just a drink or simple tiredness, but I find the corners of my mouth lifting, just a little. I wonder if the stupor will last in the real world, now that I think of it. The passing thought only reminds me of the greater lie. Perhaps it's genuine honesty after hearing her own, or the drink making me less inhibited, but I want to tell her the truth.
安江、伝えたいことがあるの。
Yasui, there's something I want to
私が
tell you.
あ
The
なたを
reason I
この
can't
世
help
界
you
から出
escape
してあげら
isn't
れない理由
just
は、
that I don't know how.
方法がわから
It's.
ないんじゃ。魔術師じゃない
I'm
から。
not a mage, Yasui. Not like
あ
you.
なた
I'm
と違っ
just
て、
another person.
私は。でも、なら、
But if
どう
that's
やっ
the
て
case,
私
how
が。
did you. As I glance about at the people going about their day around us, Yasui senses my want for privacy.
こちらへ。
Come, follow me. After a fair hike well beyond the town's limits, we arrive at the edge of the forest surrounding Sapporo. There's a peaceful serenity to this place that I've yet to find in my own world.
思い悩んでいることがある
Please,
な
tell
ら
me what's
言って
worrying
ちょう
you.
だい。
Whatever it is, Honoka,
あな
I
たのこ
accept
とな
it.
ら。
The fact she cares should make me feel happy, but it stings my heart so. She doesn't know. She couldn't know. Taking a long breath to steady myself, I look down in shame and pull my left sleeve upwards, tug by tug. Before long, the bandages show. Their length chases further and further up my arm, the beige gauze discolored by a blotch of bright scarlet. Fresh blood has pooled by now, the wound still proving sore as my sleeve drags over it. As I dare to look up at Yasui, the woman wears a mournful expression. It's striking compared to her gentle demeanor.
あなた、
What have you done to
自分に一
yourself?
体何をし実は
I'm not that
私に
sure
は
of
どう
how
な
it
って
all
いるの
works, to
か
be
わから
honest.
ない
I found a book
ずっ
which
と
someone wrote a
昔に
long
誰か
time
が書いた
ago
本に
about
普
how a
通の
normal
人間
person
が
could
後天
summon
的に
magic
習
like a
得した
mage does by
魔
second
法の
nature.
力を呼び起こす方法仕組みはよくわからないけど
Somehow, I'm not sure of the
その本の
mechanics,
通
it
りに
lets
や
me
ると
do things like
この
this,
世界
but it
に来
needs
ら
my
れるよ
blood
う
to
になっ
work.
たの
They call
で
it
も
blood magic,
それを
in
発動させ
Italian
るには
anyway.
血が必要で
In response to my fast paced explanation, her eyes closed. I could see the gears turning inside, the connection between my general frailty and rapid exhaustion when visiting now plain.
ほのか
Honoka. I know what she's going to say next. Neither of us want to hear the words.
別に
It's
死ぬ
not
わ
as if
け
I'm
じゃない
dying
か
or
ら
anything. It's
そ
hurt on my
れなら
body, I can admit
体の負
that.
担は
But for
高くなるけ
this,
どお願い
please,
もう
Yasui,
来る
I
なな
want
んて言
to
わないで
keep seeing you.
安江にも
Oh, thank you for the hydrate and stretch, Sage. Give me one sec. Alright, let's see how many vertebrae I can get this time. Oh! Enough to make me lightheaded, that's great. We're doing good. Push my chair back for a couple squats to help my knees. I fucking hate squats like a bitch, but they're helpful. Oh, oh that sucks. But I feel better now. Phew! I'm trying to think of how it would work for me to do some kind of exercise game on stream. Because all you would do is see my model die and hear weird noises coming from me. Dude, I used to love Wii Tennis. Sorry, that just randomly came to mind. I think I still have my copy, actually. I know I still have my Wii. I just don't know how to hook it up to my TV. There we go. She thinks for some time before giving a heartfelt smile of defeat.
来させないなんてことはできないわね
I can't very well force you to stop, can I? I'd rather she have scolded me. Without any further defense to be made, I fall silent while looking at nothing in particular.
ほのか自分を大事にね
Take care of yourself,
あ
Honoka.
なたと知り
I'm
合え
glad to
て
have met
どん
you.
なに
You have
嬉し
no
い
idea
か
how so.
わからない
But
でし
please
ょ
don't do anything that would risk your
で
life.
も
Do you understand?
お願いだえ
I
心配
understand.
させて
I'm sorry to
ごめん
have
なさい
worried you. Oh, is she moving in? As I scuffed my feet on the grass in angst, I noticed Yasui's shadow moving nearer. By the time I look back up, my body freezes at how close she's come. Without a word, she reaches out those long, dainty fingers and grasps the corners of my glasses, subtly evening their position on my face. With that, Yasui steps back and smiles simply. She was gonna kiss me and wussied out, calling it now.
そういうのはね
That's what we elders are
私
meant
た
to
ち
do,
勉強者
silly.
がすることなのよ
Her point made, Yasui's smile slowly wears off. The time to say goodbye draws near. When the next visit will be is difficult to say, but the fact it will come is certain. I'm not sure if it's imagined or not, but I feel Yasui's become more comfortable with the fact. Understandable for a mage seeing their first visitor in 100 years.
ほのかお大事に
Take care, Honoka.
ありがとうまたね
Thanks. I'll see you again. My head presses to the hard wood beneath, its hard, cold surface rousing me. Blurrily opening my eyes, I let myself stay in place as my senses slowly return to me. The smell of musty books, chalk, and blood plays on my nose, the scents making an unpleasant concoction. My body feels impossibly heavy. The stupor seems to be gone entirely, lost to the world I just left, but the experience of transference takes a heavy toll on my strength. Forcing myself to stand, I stagger to my feet with a hand on my desk for support. I find myself unable to do anything but stand idle in the cold, empty room. My tired eyes stare blankly out the window, the moon's dim light reflecting off the bare branches of winter. Silence hangs in the air, moonlight illuminating motes of dust floating in the evening's darkness. Dude, am I the only one who thinks that Honoka kind of has that face of, um, I'm about to lose my ever-loving mind? She's just got that look that she's about to do something drastic. Maybe it's just the blood, who knows? But she's definitely got that I'm about to cut a bitch look. She's gonna go battle the blood gods. Be like, alright, you motherfuckers. My head feels empty, no matter how hard I try to form so much as a fleeting thought. Simple exhaustion, I tell myself. With little desire to do anything else, I begin the walk to the bathroom before settling in for the night. The floor still bears the scars of my work, the book which started it all laying open amid a disorganized desk. I'll get some cleaning supplies and wash off some of the mess, I think to myself. Sometime. The flowers of summer shall wither, the leaves of autumn shall fall. Against the transient world, we are doomed to defiance to the eternal folly of man. And so the winter snow falls. Oh, that's it for the demo. Okay. Dude, I actually like this a lot. And it was actually a really well put together demo. It wasn't just like, here's the first chapter, now fuck off. Yes, we definitely need more. I will message Aramiya after stream and be like, yo, so, more? Please? Oh, and there's more characters too. Oh, I read about this one. Tatiana? She's a Russian immigrant bartender. Still going? Is the demo still going? I thought it was over. Yo, wait. I think it's still fucking going. I thought that was gonna be it. Are we gonna get introduced to the rest of the characters before the demo is over? I mean, no complaints here, but holy shit, dude.
Hungry. Feed me.
Well, I can't feed you. I'm busy.
I have a fucking wireless keyboard now.
Good job. Yay.
Feed me.
Bruh, I am busy. I can't feed you right now. Oh my god, you are a cat. Stop meowing at me. I'm waiting for one of these times you fucking. You just jump up on me at 3 in the morning. Be like, hey, I'm hungry. I'm like, fuck off, I'm sleeping. I got work in 4 hours.
Meow.
Stop
Meow.
stop meowing at me, I'm busy.
Meow.
Go meow at your other owner.
Meow.
Go meow at Libra to feed you.
Libra don't own me. Libra won't feed me neither.
Well, that sounds like you problem.
Meow. Meow. Ow, I put my ankle up there.
Sucks to suck.
Meow.
Sage says, how can you ignore the meows?
Exactly.
Well, I already told Sage that something happened to me that he gets custody of you, so. Simply just told me to hurry up and die because Sage would love them more. Damn. Cats are heartless. Well, I may want to visit Yasui again. Practicing blood magic won't be possible until my body has some more time to recover.
Meow.
Until then, I have little choice but to live out another day in this world.
Meow.
Oh.
Huh? See? Now I gotta kill you so I can go live with Sage.
Don't kill me
Sage
so you
loves
can
me.
live with Sage? What the fuck?
But Sage loves me. I'm like you.
I do love you, you
Sage
asshole.
does. Sage loves me. Meow.
God damn. Why are you meowing at me? You already want to ditch me.
Meow.
Fucking plotting my
Hungry.
murder. Like a cat.
Hunger.
Then go eat something.
I tried. Can't find nothing.
You have opposable thumbs.
Do I?
Yes.
I don't know where those are. Meow. I haven't seen them anywhere.
They're on
You
your.
stole my thumbs.
I did. How did the fuck did I steal your thumbs?
Stole my thumbs.
But
Meow.
I would have to steal your entire hand.
Stole my thumbs. Meow. See, Sage loves me.
I do love you, you asshole. Because I'm busy. I'm doing shit here.
You can do that.
I did.
You can do it. I
Love-
am cat. I rule all.
Oh my.
I am the cat. I am in charge.
That's right. You're the cat overlord.
Yes.
Well, the bartender says fuck you.
Well, fuck you too, bartender. You feed me, Meow.
I counted among my worst traits, but I've always had a tendency to eavesdrop. My attention drifts from one conversation between passengers to another, living vicariously through others without the bother of involvement in their lives. Others seem to be in a good mood from overheard clips of conversation. One salaryman talks to another about looking forward to the end of the week, being a Friday. Schoolboys chat about their plans for the weekend and the new game they're into. My life may have stopped, but those of others have kept it moving. Plucking my phone from my bag for a distraction, I begin to check various messaging apps to get across what I've missed. Plans are made and rumors spread while cute pictures and jokes are posted. I might have tried to keep in contact with friends from previous schooling. We inevitably drifted apart without the connection of being classmates. These days, such morning browsing just covers the day's news and message board threads. It's funny how different this is to Yasui's time. She couldn't. The screeching of the train's brakes puts an abrupt halt to my thoughts, people yelping in surprise at the unexpected shuddering. The stop is so sudden I'd have fallen if not for putting a foot out before me. Oh no, did someone jump out in front of the train? The momentary chaos at an end, I right myself and slip my phone back into my bag. Discontented passengers question and murmur as the train comes to stop far from any station, soon quieting as a monotone voice from above echoes about the carriage. We apologize for the inconvenience. The train is currently stopped due to an accident on the line. The short, almost curt message only causes more consternation among the passengers. Others around me began to quietly chat between themselves, some wondering if a train ahead of us broke down, or if the bitter cold has caused line problems. Some wonder aloud if someone's died, skinless excitement to their whispers barely hidden. Seconds turned to minutes, the train showing no signs of moving for some time yet. The more impatient passengers paced about the aisle, though most settled into reading books or phones. With the heat inside only growing more stifling, I look out at the snow covered world outside with some longing. As I do, a movement catches my eye from the tracks below. Catching a glimpse of blue, I realize I've seen something I shouldn't have. A man in light blue coveralls slowly makes his way along the gravel towards the front of the train, his face downcast. Dirty gloves hold a large roll of blue tarpaulin under his right arm. I've seen that material in the news. There's only one reason it could be used here and now. Someone jumped in front of the fucking train. Suddenly finding myself restless, I turn back towards the other passengers. All that faces me is a sense of mild discontent at their mundane routine disrupted, ignorant to the cause. Without anything to do with the knowledge I have, I simply take out my phone and begin to scroll through the news feeds once more. And so one more passenger discontentedly waits for the routine to resume. Unfortunately, that's the sad reality in Japan. There's apparently there's been a surge in suicides by jumping from trains. It really sucks. Yeah, it's super fucking sad. I really wonder how much of a difference increased and increased and unstigmatized access to mental health services would be. But then you would have to, but then it would also be the disconnection between people willing to get the help that's offered and people completely unwilling because of familial pressures. It's a whole fucking thing. I just wish that mental health services was more readily available to help people like this before they feel like they're pushed to the very brink. The day slowly draws to an end. My last daylight hours spent in the university library, as they often are, with my hand resting on my tit. The desk where the elderly librarian once sat lies empty, her shawl left draped over the chair's back as a small, perhaps unintended, tribute. Ever since she retired, the school has struggled to hire another. The two of us had shared a silent agreement. I often remained in the library long past closing time, allowed to study while providing quiet company to the old lady as she worked to close up for the day. I enjoyed our quiet coexistence, free from expectations of more. A book sliding into place on a shelf ahead rouses me from my reverie, the new librarian busily working away. She's kind of cute. One, Shino Kiku, Kikuchi, according to the email which introduced the newest member of staff. Only hired in the last month, she's a stark difference from her elder in so many ways, not the least of which being her age. If I had to guess, she'd be in her early 20s at most. At least one thing is alike between them. She, too, lets me stay well into the evenings. Perhaps the old librarian passed a note to her. I'm thankful in any case. I hate being an imposition, but the school provides a far better environment for studying, given the solitude and loneliness of my faraway home. Yo, why is the camera focusing on my tits? Looking back down to the book before me, a mundane bit of research material for my course, the words begin to dance as I try to read. The more I try to focus on the passages, the more my thoughts skate away. The same happened with lectures throughout the day. One shudder or another in those last moments before the train stopped was what a human's life ending feels like. In that instant, their wanderings in this world ended. Yet I have no others to tell. The same goes for the bandages running up my arm. They serve as an ever present reminder of how little I have in common with anyone around me.
もっと早くに言っとくべきだったよね。付き合ってくれてありがとう。
I should have said this a while ago, but thanks for the company. The unexpected voice from the shelves ahead makes my head jerk upwards. I hadn't realized how rattled I've been from the morning's experience. My heart only now returned to its normal pace now that I have a distraction. Like so many others, the woman wears a smile so easily. I can't help but muse how odd she looks for a librarian, from her athletic clothing to how every movement belies a barely suppressed energy.
私こそ
Thank you for
長
letting me
居させて
stay.
くれてありがとう。
Evidently bored of her menial work and shelving books, Shino takes my reply as an invitation to have a proper conversation. Setting down the book in her hand, she comes over and spins her chair about, sitting herself sideways in a rather inelegant way. While the relationship between Yasui and I may have a certain push and pull as we feel out each other's boundaries, Shino has no such concern. Even now, her bright eyes move from me to the textbook in my hands, happily seizing on an opening to get closer to me.
イタリア語を読めるの？
You
す
can
ご
read
いじゃん。
Italian? That's
私
cool.
も言語は
I know a
初め
few
てがする
languages
よ。
too. That's the
世
way the
界で
world
つ
is
ながっ
these
てるっ
days,
て
right?
感じがするよね。
Yeah, she's very cute. Oh no, she's got my ahoge. Automatically, I like her purely because of the ahoge. We're twins.
そうかも。
I guess so.
私
I
は
need it for my
単位の
degree.
ためだ。
So she wants to chat. That too is the difference between Shino and the previous librarian, one I like rather less. Something throws me off about her, all the more so now that we're close. I can't quite put my finger on it though, making me feel bad once again for being so distrustful towards someone so friendly. As if in answer to my want to end the conversation, a playful ping resounds from Shino's pocket. Her hand dives into her pocket, quickly retrieving her phone to examine the message. Her face lights up as she starts reading, the woman looking like a child given a new toy as she begins scrolling something or another with her full attention. I don't particularly mind. We all have our appointments and such. A minute or so later, she fumbles with the on-screen Kana keyboard, slowly dragging her thumb across the grid to carefully type in her reply. Noticing my slightly baffled staring upon sending her message, she gives a grin.
こういうのって本当にすごい
These
よね。
things are pretty cool, aren't
一
they?
昔
They
前
might
は
have
た
just
だの
been
ショ
for
ートスペ
chatting
ースだった
before,
のに、
but now it's all
今じゃサイ
cyberspace
バー
right in
ス
your
ペース
pocket.
全部がポケ
The
ットの
modern
中に
world's
収まるん
amazing.
だもん。
You can talk to anyone in the
世
world
界中
so
の誰とで
easily,
も簡
or
単に
read
つ
an
ながれる
entire
し、
library.
図書館の蔵書も丸ごと収容。
With an antiquated way of speaking, I've never heard cyberspace used by anyone, or at least not without a thick sense of irony. Without intending to, I let my confusion show on my face.
あれ、なんか変なこと言ったかな。
Did I say something wrong?
うん、別
No,
に。
not at all.
た
It's
だ
just, I thought
最
everyone
近
was
は
used
み
to
んな
phones these
スマ
days.
ホに慣れてる。
She quickly puts her phone away into a pocket and takes to her feet once more, slightly embarrassed for my picking up on it.
ああ、
Well,
それは
how should I put
なん
this?
ていうか、私はほら、
I grew up in the
田舎
country,
育
so it's
ちだ
only
から、
recently I've been able to
こう
try
いうの
things
を
like
使うよ
this.
うになったのって、
Computers and
つい
smartphones are all
最
new
近
to
の
me,
ことで
really.
さ。コンピューターとかスマホ。
I suppose being a country bumpkin would explain it, though I thought even the most remote corners of Japan would at least have the cheaper smartphones around by now. If someone like Shino finds phones so exciting, maybe Yasui will too. Getting an signal for internet access is obviously a non-starter, though.
じゃあ、どうして東
What
京
makes you
に
come
来た
to
の？
the city then?
一言で言えば、冒
Adventure, in a
険
word. I
かな。
tend to drift between
いろんな
jobs,
仕事
taking
を
on
転々
whatever's
として、
interesting.
ここの仕事も次が見
So
つか
this
る
is
まで
just
のつも
temporary
り
for you
ってこ
too?
と？
How long are you
どれ
staying?
くらいいる？
She gives a simple shrug.
飽きるまでかな。
Until I get bored of this one, I guess. Oh no. That's what I did for the longest time. If I got bored of a job, I moved on. What an odd attitude. I'd vaguely heard of people who drift from job to job as their whims take them. This is my first time meeting someone like that. I'd be lying if I said I weren't a little envious of her approach to things.
それって大変じゃない？
Isn't that hard?
別に。
Nah. As long
心
as you
の
have the
安
right
らかさえ
attitude,
な
life
けれ
gets
ば
a lot
生き
easier.
るのはぐんと楽。生き
You have to dedicate yourself to something along the way, I think. Even if it's something small, I always try to set things right in the world. If I can keep myself to thinking that, what's going on at any one time isn't a big deal. Her words are said with such innocent naivety that I'm thrown off by the strange woman before me. It's not that I disbelieve that her drive to accomplish something is good, but more that it's hard to believe someone when they so earnestly cling to it. Practically anything I've gotten myself into of late would be problematic to actually discuss with someone else, leaving me with nothing to continue the conversation. Thus, the distance between myself and others grows that little bit more. That isn't to say the carefree librarian is wrong, though. If there's any cause, any single thing I can believe in, it's freeing Yasui from that sealed world. She of all people doesn't deserve that fate, and I alone have the knowledge to even find her. Prompted by the thought of Yasui, my mind soon begins wandering of its own accord. If Sheena wants to talk, I might as well try to get something useful out of her. I was wondering, do you know anything about mages? That's quite the change in topic. I saw a news article about a mage who works as a doctor a few days ago. It just made me curious. That's not entirely a lie. The odd news article or documentary about mages catches my eye these days, now that I know one. She knows just about, discomforted by the subject. She quickly tries to paper over her reaction by realizing I've noticed. They're an interesting lot, aren't they? There's so few around that you rarely get to see magic actually being used. It's more that it's weird how people so different could be right beside us, that their experiences are so different that nobody could tell. Do you think so? Your average mage is a much different than a regular person, you know. It's sad how people are so distrustful of magic. I suppose they do keep their heads down here though. Besides, powerful mages are something else, right? In Europe, they live way more openly and have ancient bloodlines who own whole palaces. What government would try to police you if you could break the laws of nature on a whim? I suppose that's why people get so cautious around mages, though. People fear what's different. I can only imagine how powerful a mage must have been to seal away a whole portion of the world. The entirety of old Sapporo and its people, carved away from reality and lingering for an eternity. How anyone there hasn't gone mad is beyond me. Shino's earnestness is no less visible on this topic than the last. Her angst over people's dislike of mage is quite clear. She hardly seems the type to hide her feelings, earning some degree of trust, even if I do dislike her nosiness. Yo, I wonder if Shino is a fucking mage. Realizing the time is getting on as the sun begins to set further, I file away Shino as a potential source of information as I get up and slide the book into my bag. Heading home? I should head back before I get too tired. Thank you again for letting me stay so long. My pleasure. Endlessly stacking books in this big building all by myself gets lonely. With that, I give an appreciative nod before pulling my coat from the seat and slinging it over my shoulders, my bag following before I start shuffling out of the library. It wasn't a lie that I need to head back before I got too tired, but the reason goes unsaid. Tonight, I'll renew my efforts on studying my other reading material. If I'm to devote myself to some cause or another, then that cause will be something only I can do. My concerns already begin to feel fleeting as I focus myself on the task ahead. From now, my purpose in life will be freeing Yasui from her gilded cage. From now, my entire life revolves around my waifu. Yo, Honoka being a simp? Holy shit, is it still going? Sword and spear ring out as they clash, voices bellowing and men falling as their vibrant claws swirls about in the violence. No less vivid are the heartfelt expressions, from the deepest fury to a most devastating anguish. From my seat in the audience, I watch on silently with rapt fascination. Chushingura, the treasury of royal retainers? Of loyal retainers. I can't fucking read that. The treasury of loyal retainers. Chushingura. Chushingura. Blech. My tongue is not happy about this. A tale of 47 Ronin and their quest to avenge their master, caught between loyalty to their late lord and duty to the shogunate. The fucking art style always kills me, dude. It looks badass, but their faces is always like, even when they're just supposed to look like really pretty and serene, they still look like I'm about to eat your entire fucking ass if you bug me. There's just so much detail, but they always look ready to just fucking start a fight. I love it. The way the Japanese art styles have gone from this to like Japanese art style has gone from this masterpiece to this masterpiece. Like in the space of only what? Not even 200 years. They went from I will eat you to eat me. The story reaches its bloody conclusion, the villain cut down and their lord spared at peace. For going against the shogun, however, all will sacrifice themselves for their deeds. It's a stirring performance, the actors' heartfelt cries and gestures feeling more visceral than any picture on a screen. Like most my age, I thought theater a little old fashioned, obsoleted by movies and TV shows. How wrong I was. Yo, am I watching a fucking kabuki show with Yasui right now? The crowd's applause, joined by my own, echoes back as the heavy curtain draws across the stage. Another fine work coming to an end. The play is apparently frequently performed here, being very popular in its time and in favor of Yasui. It's no wonder either. This is a heartfelt tale of honor and an era in search of a cause. In the tumultuous upheaval of a feudal society becoming a modern imperial power, it's inevitable that many would remember a simpler, somewhat fictional past. Chushingura even resonates with someone like me. It isn't that honor doesn't exist anywhere in my own time, albeit in a different form, but that it's distant, something you only hear about on the news. The curtains soon withdraw once more, slowly revealing the performers and their director. Yasui stands at the center of the stage, bowing as so many men flanking her. Some are sturdy, while others are slender, some elegant, and others brutish. All natures and appearances are represented, each having given their all in the grand play. Yet not one of the actors was human. Another round of applause ensues from the crowd, who are no less delighted by the illusion than the performance itself. Of course, I'm among them. No matter how many times I see it, Yasui's magic still amazes me. With little to occupy myself with following the play, and little desire to intrude in the lives of others, I quietly wait for Yasui outside the large venue, a task made easier by the cool night air. Life goes by slowly here. That contrast is one of the most jarring things about our two worlds. Even the most patient modern people have a sense of urgency about them. They're always thinking of things they need to do, people to meet, and news to read. Here, the old man, urging his horse on, simply pines for a meal and a bath, and his day's work over. There she is. There's the waifu. As Yasui finally leaves the venue, I call out to her. The way her shoulders relax a little when she sees me waiting doesn't go missed.
楽しんでもらえたかしら。
I trust you enjoyed the show?
ええ、とても。
Of course. I don't
普
get to
段
see
歌舞
kabuki
伎や舞
much,
台の
and
大
definitely
変
nothing
な
like
生
that.
活だけど、それでも。
Yasui gives an indulgent smile at the praise, the two of us starting on our way back down the street. It's hard to believe that the road we walk is the very same one I've so often visited downtown, the street layout uncannily familiar. Even as we walk, the odd passerby gives an appreciative bow or word of thanks to Yasui. Her only response each time is a humble, almost shy bow. Yasui must be one of those grand mages Shino mentioned, yet she herself never mentioned how powerful she was. Far from finding herself flustered by those around us, she instead turns to me for a conversation.
一つ聞きたいことがあるの。
I did have one question
現
about the
代でも
modern
まだ
world.
歌舞伎は人
As
気があるの
Kabuki
かし
still
ら。
enjoy it? Do you know if my
私の
venue is
現状
still
は
there?
まだ残っていて。
I feel a little pained by her clear hope for a different answer than I can give. In a world of movies, phones, and streaming, theaters largely relegated to the more culturally refined. Modernity continued unquestioned. The theater is little more than a small plaque in the real world, one of the many minor landmarks commuters unknowingly walk by every day. Were it not for Yasui's interest in the topic, I wouldn't have noticed the unremarkable sign myself. Said plaque never mentioned Yasui, though. Odd for someone who seems to have practically created the venue's reputation.
今はいろんなエンタ
People have a lot of entertainment available to them these days,
劇
so
場
it's
に通
usually
って
the
るの
older
は
generation who
年
still
配の
attends.
方が多いか。でも本州だとまだ
Theater
観
still
客
has a
は
good
多いよ。
audience on the mainland, though.
札
Not
幌
so
は
much
本
around
州ほどじ
Sapporo,
ゃな
but
いけど、
amateur kabuki
ア
is
マ
still
チュア
performed
の
here every so often.
素人上がりの人たちの歌舞伎
I try to put as positive a spin on it as I can, but the slight clouding to her expression is enough to see I failed. It's difficult to communicate just how much she's missed in over 100 years, much of it harrowing and depressing. Trying to move the topic to more palatable ground, I speak first.
ねえ、いろん
With
な
all
魔
your
術が使
magic,
えるの
what
に
drew
ど
you
う
to
して
use it
歌
for
舞伎に使
kabuki?
おうと思ったの？魔術師というのはね、とても
Mages are often a
妙なこ
little
とをしたが
eccentric.
るものな
Our
の。
nature tends what
私たちの法律
towards
は
that which normal
普通の
society
社
doesn't
会では
understand,
あまり
that
受け入れられ
isolation
ないも
chained
のだ
in
から、
us. When I
歌舞
saw how
伎を持た
delighted
ずに
people
生
were
き
with
てい
what
く
I
のをして
conjured, I
遠慮
decided
して
then
い
and
た。
there to keep doing this for a
でも
living.
みんな妹にも
If only my
普通
sister
の
had the
人
same
々と
desire to
関わっ
remain
ていき
rooted
たい
with
という
common
思いが
people.
あればよかったのに。
She never mentioned she had a sister. Even now, her words more mumbled to herself than directed towards me.
魔術師ってあんまりいなさそう。
There don't exactly seem to be many
私
mages around. I've
あ
never
な
seen
たに
one
会うま
before
で
meeting you.
一人も知らない。札幌のことしかわ
I
か
can
ら
only
ないけ
speak
れ
for
ど、
Sapporo, but I guess there are
そう
only
は言って
about a few dozen,
都
maybe,
内に
within the
数十人
city.
いるかどうか
It's
もわ
difficult to
か
know
ら
for
ない。
sure because many hide their
ほ
powers
とん
or
どの
live away
力
from
を隠
common
して
people
過
as
ごしているか、
hermits.
自分の力に気づ
Maybe
い
they
てい
don't
な
know
い
their
人がい
power?
る可能性。
Yasui gives a reflexive snort at the idea, the crude amusement at odds with her otherwise calm and collected nature. She soon answers my confused reaction.
それは関
That
係
would be
ない
as
でしょ。
impossible as forgetting who
視
you
力
could
に気づ
see.
いていないも
No
同
mage
然
could
なの。
simply forget their sense
魔
of
術師
magic.
が自分の魔術の感覚。あ、そ
I
うなんだ。
see. I really don't
ね、
know much of anything
私、
about this.
そうでしょうね。
You say that, but
で
you
も
seem
あな
to
た
leave
は
this
こ
sealed
の
world
閉
quite
ざされた世
easily.
界をやすやすと。
I think to myself about how to communicate such a thing, ending up with another clumsy analogy just as Yasu had used.
一言で言えば、一
If I
生
had to put
握
it
って
one
るよう
way,
な
it
感
feels
覚
like
かな。
holding a rock. Letting
手を
go,
離すだ
returning
け。
to my normal world,
だから、
is easy.
でもこっちの世
On
界
the
に
other
来る
hand,
のは
getting here is
地
like
面にある
making a
石
rock
を
on the
渡せ
ground
るような
float up
感
into
じ。
my hand. Even though I
今
can
は
do this
確実に
reliably
できる
now,
け
it
ど、
still feels
や
surreal.
っぱりって言えば分かっ
Does
て
that
も
make
らえ
any
るかな。
sense?
ええ、実に理にか
That
なっ
makes
ている。
altogether too much sense, actually.
私も
I couldn't have
魔
described
術につ
magic
いて
any
語
better
るなら
myself.
そう説明すると思う。
With this, she emphasizes her point by conjuring a fan into her hand.
魔術は物理法則に反するもの。
Magic doesn't fit the laws of physics.
私た
We're
ちは
denying
現
reality,
実を否
and
定してい
so
るわけだか
reality
ら。
works against whatever
現
magic's
実は
being
何で
used.
あれ。だから魔術の効果を維持する
Therefore,
ことは
maintaining
し
anything
かり
magical
破滅
takes
しな
active
くてはなら
effort.
ないの。
To use your words, to
ほの
keep
か
a
な
rock
言
in
葉を
the
考え
air,
れば
you have to hold on
飯
to
を
it.
浮かべておく。そして
Simply
目を
let
つ
your
ぶって
hand loose and With this, her fan dematerializes in a moment.
石が地面に落ちる
It drops to the ground.
もしかしたら
Perhaps you're not as ignorant to our ways
自
as you
分で思
think.
っているよりも魔術そんな
I still need to learn more about all this. Sorry if you don't like me questioning you all the
質
time.
問してとんでもない
On the contrary, I actually rather like that sense of curiosity you have about you. Have you tried asking your friends about them?
友達なんていないよ
I don't have
誰か
friends
と
to
仲良
ask.
くなれる性
I'm
格でも
not
な
really
い
the
し
type.
あら私には
You
そう
seemed
は
rather
思えない
approachable to
けれど
me.
実はね
Here I was,
この世
worried
界に
whoever might arrive in this
わ
world
ざ
would
と
be
した
some
曲
aloof
線
old
で
mage,
すっか
grown
り傲慢
haughty
に
and
なった
arrogant
年
from
寄りの
skill and
魔術師だっ
age.
たらどうしようかと心配していたの
She gives an earnest smile to show her sincerity. Perhaps it's only our being forced together by these strange circumstances, but having the company of Yasui is something I'm grateful for. For all she accepts my questioning of her, Yasui never pries into my own affairs. Besides, everyone would seem approachable to her. So many walk up to Yasui in the street, the powerful mage thinking nothing of speaking to them as equals. It would be so easy to become aloof and arrogant with that kind of power. She's so easygoing and has so many skills and interests. In every way, Yasui's a far better person than I. How unfair it is that someone like her instead of me would be so cruelly sealed away. As we turn a corner, Yasui's soft voice speaks again.
もう一つ聞きたいことがあったの
I did have one more
どう
question,
して私
actually.
を強
Where
い
did
魔
you
術
get
師
the
だと
idea
思
that
う
I
の
was powerful?
比
You have
べられ
nobody
る
to
魔術
compare
師
me
の
with,
知り合い
right?
なんていないでしょ大学の新しい
The
師
new
匠が
librarian at my
おし
university
ゃべり
wanted
好
to
きだ
chat
か
with
ら
me,
ま
so I
さか
asked
のこ
about
とを
magic.
聞いてみたの
I thought I should know
自
more
分が
about
使う
something
も
I'm
ののこ
using.
とは知っておきたいしまあ大
Oh,
学生
you're
な
in a
ので
university.
す
That's
ごいわ
wonderful. May I ask
何を
what you're
勉強してい
studying?
るのか聞いてもいいかしら
I'm a little taken aback by Yasuo's excitement before remembering the context. University must have been rare to get into in her time, let alone for a woman.
人文学よ
Humanities, literature mainly.
あらこの世界が役に立ちそうなこ
Wow.
と
I went to college for accounting. It only lasted a semester, but yeah. That's like almost the opposite for me. Well, now, how useful that you found yourself in the past.
西洋
Western
文学
literature. Hey, no, you know what? Trade schools are fucking amazing. You actually learn a useful skill that you can get paid hella at for like a fifth of the price of university. So fake college my ass. Trade schools are fucking amazing. I champion trade schools. The pace of the conversation comes to a stop. Yasui left with an awkward smile. We almost find a common wavelength so often, only missed by so little each time. Then again, if it hadn't been for my interest in European literature, I'd never have ordered that book on blood magic. I wouldn't have had the patience to slowly read through the handwritten pages either, my well-thumbed Italian dictionary at hand all the while.
ここで聞いた情報を使わせてもらうとしても
What would I put as a
参考文献
bibliography,
じ
even
ゃ
if I could
なくて
use
どう
something I
書けば
found
いい
here?
の
A friend told
友
me.
達から聞いあら友
I
達
thought you
は
said you
何を
didn't
した
have
かっ
any
たの
friends. That was a cheap rhetorical trap, and her teasing face shows she knows it. That said, I find myself rolling the idea around in my mind like a sweet. The thought suddenly comes to mind that I brought something along, thanks to chatting with Shino days earlier. My hand dives into my pocket to retrieve my phone, but before I can show it to her, a cheerful red packet slips out and falls to the ground first. Yasui's curiosity takes control. She quickly stoops down and takes it in her hands.
これは
What's this?
あそれ
Oh, I completely
今
forgot
ま
about
ですっ
buying
かり
that.
忘れ
It's
ちゃっ
just
て
some
た
chocolate.
チョコレートを持ってきたの
Yasui hardly hears me, entirely captivated by the relic of my world as she turns the packet this way and that. She's probably unable to read the English branding and unused to the modern packaging to begin with. It's a little charming, actually. She's hardly shy about her bewilderment. instead happily playing with the foil edges and trying to make sense of the slogans and marketing.
チョコレート聞いたことがあるわ。
Chocolate. I've heard
確
about
か
this. It's
東
a
京で
medicine
売
that's
られ
sold
て
in
いる薬
Tokyo.
だったかしら。
So this has finally made it to
それは
Hokkaido then.
とうとうこれは薬じゃなくて
Oh, it's
た
not
だの食べ
medicine.
物よ。
It's just a food. A
歌
sweet,
手
I
って
guess.
言えばいいかな。
She's not making a secret of wanting to eat it, very visibly stopping herself from asking. I feel like a mother whose kid is begging at the store.
食べていい
You can have it. They're
高
cheap.
くないものだし。
I'm a little startled by how quickly she begins to work on the wrapper and how clumsily she rips it apart. It's so easy to forget just how ingrained so many everyday things are to a modern person, like the specific way packets are designed to open. No sooner does she take a mouthful of the chocolate inside than her face lights up in delight.
とっても甘いのね。
It's so sweet! She continues munching away, raising her free hand to poorly hide her chewing mouth.
現代には本
Ah,
当
the
に素
modern
敵
world
なも
has
の
so
がた
many
くさん
wonderful
あるのね。
things. So Yasui has a sweet tooth. I wonder when sugary treats reach Hokkaido. She might have only ever had bean and rice-based confectionery. Sugar would be terribly sweet compared to something she's had before. As she savors the last few morsels from the packet, I reach in and take the phone from my pocket once more. Usually I have left it charging when I came here in the past. Yasui gulps down the last of her chocolate as I bring it up between us, her puzzled face reflecting off its shiny black screen. I could have been taking pictures of the waifu this entire fucking time. Yo, Honoka, you're failing as a simp, my dude. She jerks back a little in surprise as the screen lights up. Eager to see what she makes of it, I unlock the phone and hand it over to her.
これは
What's this?
電話よ。
A phone.
電話
A phone, you say?
触っていいよ。
Here, you can tap on the
こ
screen
の
to
画
do
面に触れ
things.
たらいろんなこと
I give a couple taps here and there to show opening an app and such, before Yasui gives it a try for herself. I don't think she quite understands it all, but her face lights up as she slowly gets the hang of it. As Yasui fiddles about, she manages to discover moving things by dragging left and right and opening controls by tapping completely by herself. She's surprised she worked it out so quickly, but I suppose she's still just human. It's not like I understand how a phone really works, I just use it.
あら、これは
What's this? As she lowers the phone for me to see, it appears Yasui managed to open the camera app, the viewfinder currently pointed down at our feet.
最近の携帯電話はね、
Mobile phones are also cameras these days. You can take photos by pressing this button.
このボタンを
The idea seems to have stumped an already perplexed Yasui. I take the phone back to guide her through how the camera works, changing to the front camera, holding it up to show both of us on the screen. It's admittedly a little clumsy. I've never been one for selfies, and keep trying to move the phone the wrong way to keep us in the shot. The look of sheer glee on Yasui's face when it all clicks for her, though, as seen on the screen before us, makes it all worth it. I can't help but smile at the absurdity of the situation as the two of us crowd into the swaying frame. With some difficulty, I managed to somehow maneuver a finger onto the shutter button, finally taking the shot with a loud click. Bringing the phone down between us, I show Yasui the saved photo, her face leaning in close to take in every detail.
信じられないわ。
Incredible! Everything's so colorful, we didn't even have to stay
じ
still.
っとしていな
How
くて
did
も
it
いいの
develop
ね。
so fast?
ねえ、それは
It's
説明
probably a
する
bit
のがちょっ
complicated
と
to
難
explain,
しいか
but
も。
photos like this don't need to be
で
developed.
も
It's
携
not
帯
going on
電
the
話で撮っ
film.
た写真は現像し
I'm so used to the digital era that the days of film cameras slip my mind. As I replace the phone in my pocket, Yasui rights herself, but the excited energy from her new discovery still remains. I have to remind myself yet again that this woman's actually the older of us.
ありがとう、ほのか。
Thank you,
こん
Honoka.
なに
For the
長く
first time in so
本物
long, I
の
feel
世
like I
界
have
を
some
感じたの
connection
は
to
初
the
めて
real
よ。
world of the.
今は
Which
何
era
て
is
いう
it now?
時代なの？明治の後、
After the
大正、
Meiji era, it went
昭和、
Taisho, Showa,
平成とき
Heisei, and now
今
Reiwa.
は令和よ。令和。い
Reiwa.
い響き
How
ね。
lovely a name. Those in your era must live an
素晴らし
amazing
い暮らし
life.
を送っている。それに
And
食
the
べ
food
物
as
が
well. It's so
さっ
nice.
きのチョコレート。
I hold my tongue, but it's all so ordinary to me that I hardly notice such things day to day. To Yasui, though, this might as well be another world entirely. Her childlike joy is quite charming. It feels nice to have helped her, however accidental it might have been. I wonder how long it's been since I have. I'm so wrapped in my own feelings that it takes a moment to realize Yasui's attention has shifted back to me.
ほのかは笑っている方がいいわ。
A smile suits you. In a moment, my face collapses. It's not that I hate her well meaning compliment, but somehow it doesn't feel right to smile. Not after everything that's happened.
安江はどうしていつも
I
笑
don't
ってい
know
る
how you smile so easily,
閉
especially
じ
after
込め
being
られ
sealed
た後
away.
でさえも。だってもう100
It's
年以
been
上
over
経ってる
100
よ。
years now. My age, the
年も
people, this
人々
world,
も
everything
この
unchanging.
世界も
I wasn't always like
何
this. The
一
worst of
つ
my
変わ
time
ら
here
ない
was the
まま。
period I entertained
昔はこ
escape.
んな風じゃなかった
That
んだ。
every moment I failed to find a way
一
out
番辛かっ
was a
たの
moment in
は
the company of
こ
loved
の
ones
世
that I
界から抜
lost.
け出そうとしていた頃でしょうね。でもどうして年を
Have
取
you
らな
lived
い
for
の？
so long, though? You
そ
don't
んな
look
に
old at
年を取っ
all.
てるように。あら、あ
Why,
りが
thank
とう。
you. Yo,
魔術師の中でも特に力の強いものは自分の魔術で老化を遅らせることができる。
Yasui, how old are
普
you?
通の人の3倍。いえ、
Bitch is like
そ
over
れ以上
100 years
に長生
old.
きする人もいるわ。
What the fuck? Damn! Yo, Yasui's a real cougar around here. She's like over 100 something. I'm only in my 20s. I'm only 20. Oh yeah, she is 100% a MILF. So, we got a MILF. Let's go. Mages, powerful ones anyway, can tap a little of their magic to slow their aging. It's not unusual for some to live perhaps triple a normal lifespan, or even more.
あっさりと
I
諦め
could
る
have
人も
taken the
いる
easy
け
way
ど、
out and not done so, but
私はここで死ぬわけには
I
いかない。
couldn't let myself die here. Not in the
あの
prison
子
she
の
sent me to
私をさま
wander.
よわせるべ
My
き人
revenge
々
on
の
her
手
would
の
have been
残
my
して
final play, if
死ぬ
only
わ
she
けに
still
はいかな
lived.
かったのよ。
For the first time, I catch a glimpse of something darker in her. Without thinking, I take a step back, my chest tightening at the change from her otherwise gentle nature. Yasui? Fuck you doing? The cheerful red packet crumpling up in her tightening hand reminds her of the here and now. Yasui forcing the thoughts from her mind to Yasui forcing the thoughts from her mind given my presence. It's only natural to hate anyone who did such a thing to her, but I didn't know she had such anger bottled up.
ほのかには関係のない話よ
That
ね。
isn't your concern, though.
この
Let's end
話は
talk of
ここ
that
までに
matter.
しましょう。そういえば、ほ
I
のか
see
の
much
世
has
界は
changed in
随
your
分
world,
と
if not
様変わり
mine.
しているよ
Pants are
うね。
common now, for one. She gives a small smile, trying to distract herself with a lighter topic. I can't help but feel awe for her, but I humor Yasui for her sake. I wouldn't say to her now of all times, but this world reminds me a little of a snow globe. A small slice of the world captured at one point in time and now everlasting. A world where the company of strangers is all she had.
そうだけど安心して。
Don't
着物
worry,
や
kimono
浴
and
衣も
yukata is still
お祭
worn,
りや行事
especially
の
for
時に着れ
festivals
る
and
人は多
events.
いから。
I wore one to the
私
last
も
fireworks,
最
actually.
近の花火大会で浴衣。まあ、
I'd
ぜ
like
ひ
to
見て
see
みた
that.
いわ。
You look so pretty
き
in
っと
one.
似合う。
Every so often, she oversteps into undeserving compliments. I get that she wants to put me at ease, though.
子供の頃の一
One of
番
my
古い
earliest
記憶
memories
の
as a
一つは
child is of
浴
standing around in
衣を
my
着て出か
yukata
ける
all
準備
ready to
が万
go,
端だった
with
ん
the
だけど、
festival being canceled.
祭りが中止
To
になった
cheer
こと
me
で
up,
ね。
my parents took me to say
泣い
fireflies
てダダを
instead.
こねる私を慰め、あの時のホタ
When
ル
I
は
saw them, I thought they were
花
better
火
than
で
any
綺麗だった。
fireworks. They almost looked magical as a
夜の
child,
闇
floating
に
about
浮
in
か
the
び上
night's
がる光
darkness.
が 素敵な思い
That's
出のこ
sweet.
と
It's been a long time since I saw
になるなん
those.
て、もうずっと。私も
It's been a long time for me
環
as
境汚
well.
染が進ん
Fireflies
で
are hard to find
自
anymore,
然が
with
減ってき
increasing
てるから、
pollution and less
ホタル
wilderness.
が見られる場所。
I feel an altogether too familiar pang of regret at mentioning my family, my body going cold at the idea of having to think about this any further. This is the one place I'm free from that feeling. Why did I have to bring them up? Please don't ask anything further about them, Yasui. Please. Yep, my parents did. Soon that wish becomes altogether too true. The silence makes it clear Yasui's been taken off guard, acutely aware of the topic to avoid. As I feel pain from clutching at my arm, I decide to use the one excuse to leave that I told myself I wouldn't.
そ
I
ろ
should be
そろ
going.
戻らな
I'm
きゃ
feeling tired.
疲れちゃったそう
That's fine,
ゆっくり
Honoka.
休んで
Take
ね
care of yourself.
何より
For what it's
私の
worth,
夫
I'm
を
glad you
信
count me
じ
as
て
a
くれて
friend.
嬉しいわ
Everyone needs some,
誰
even if
に
you
だっ
might
て
not
友
believe
達は
it.
必要だも
That
の
was why I took up theater
自
after
分では
all.
そう思えなありがとうヤス
Thanks, Yasui. I'll see
ま
you
た来る
later.
から
With that, I take a deep breath and close my eyes. Even as the magic begins to take hold, my mind is elsewhere. I can't make the world a better place as Shino is working towards. I'm too selfish and too useless to do something like that. What I can do is help this one person. Oh, there's the end of the demo. Holy fuck. Dude. Yo, good game? Yes. Long demo, but totally fucking worth it. Yeah, I'm 100% messaging Army after this and being like, yo, so, can I have that game key? Pretty please? Pretty please with chocolate on top? We'll see what happens. It is a good game. I want to see it go further. I want to see further. And I want to meet Tatiana. I want the Russian bartender.
No, 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 it was supposed to be my pentakill. Why did you do that to me? I killed, I know, 1, 2, 3 for champions. I can't believe it.